Education Scotland's guidelines for early reading are organised across three main areas. These are building a literacy-rich environment through interactions, experiences and spaces, developing skills for reading, and building independent and engaged readers. For each of the areas pictured, a suite of videos has been developed to support professional learning. The videos have been carefully developed to align with Realising the Ambition and Scotland's Curriculum for Excellence guidance. Where direct links have been made to Realising the Ambition, the language and images from the guidance document have been used to illustrate the connection. Throughout the video, some technical terms are used to describe aspects of early reading. The QR code on the slide will allow you to access a glossary with brief explanations of some of the terms used. Each area has been broken down into 4 themes. There is a video which explores each theme, identifying key messages and research which supports the guidance. This video is focused on developing phonological awareness, as underlined on the slide. You may choose to watch this video in isolation, but it is recommended that the overall suite of videos is used to support a broader programme of professional learning. Phonological awareness is a key component of early reading development. Within this video, we will explore 2 key messages. Provide children with opportunities to hear, explore, and play with the sounds and patterns of language. Support children as they begin to make connections between sounds they hear and print in their environment. We are going to begin by considering the role of phonological awareness in early reading development. Phonological awareness is the ability to hear and manipulate or play with the spoken sounds in words and sentences. Children naturally notice and play with words and sounds in their environment. You may have observed a child's joy in discovering words which begin with the same sound or even rhyme with their own name. Through explorations of stories, rhymes and songs, children will have opportunities to investigate and experiment with words, sounds and patterns in spoken language. Throughout these rich literacy experiences, children can begin to develop phonological awareness. Phonological awareness is an umbrella term for a wide set of skills which we will explore over the course of this video and a later video developing phonemic awareness. Research organises these skills in a variety of different ways and orders. Phonological awareness is developed from when children are very young, through early level and beyond, whereas phonemic awareness is likely to be developed later in early level as more explicit teaching and modelling is required. We will now explore a range of phonological skills in more depth. Different names or terms are used for these skills, however, for the purpose of consistency, we will use and explore the following terms: attention and listening, auditory and visual discrimination, word awareness, syllable detection and blending, rhyme awareness and production, alliteration awareness and production, and phonemic awareness. Although these skills are listed separately, there is crossover and overlap between them. Some of the skills may be developed at the same time, with one skill supporting development of another. For example, for children to be able to discriminate between sounds, they will draw upon their listening and attention skills. It is important to mention that children will grasp different aspects of phonological awareness at different times, and may need to revisit some areas as they learn to read. Keep in mind that every child is an individual. Some will be able to grasp an aspect of phonological awareness, such as rhyme, from an early age, whereas others may continue to find this more challenging. Children will continue to develop phonological awareness throughout and beyond early level, and may not fully grasp one aspect before moving on to another. There may be gaps in a child's phonological awareness, however we should consider this within the bigger picture of early reading skills, as we may be able to draw upon other strengths. Let's now take a closer look at each of the phonological skills in more depth. Before children can play with the spoken sounds in words and sentences, they must be able to listen to and focus on, or give attention to, what they can see and hear. As explored in the previous video, the importance of oral language for reading, children begin to notice the differences between a range of sounds, helping them to build the auditory discrimination skills required for reading. Providing opportunities for children to listen and talk about different sounds in their play environment can help them later notice the subtle differences between letter sounds and words such as and n or hat and ham. Children will also develop their visual memory and discrimination as explored in the next video, Building Concepts of Print. This is the ability to notice differences and similarities in pictures, objects, patterns and sequences. Word awareness is the understanding that phrases and sentences are made up of individual words. Are children aware where words in our speech start and stop? For example, the phrase fish and chips is made up of 3 separate words. However, words are often run together in speech, so it is easy to see why word awareness may need to be further explored with children. Once children can identify the boundaries between where one word stops and another starts, they may also start to notice the chunks or syllables within words. Some words have just one syllable, for example, dog and shoe, while other words have many, such as caterpillar, which has 4 syllables, ca-ter-pi-ler. We might describe syllables to young children as the beats in words. Syllable detection and blending is the ability to hear and recognise how spoken words can be broken down into chunks and built back up again. Adults can model tapping or stamping to mark the beats in words. For example, clapping the beats in caterpillar, caterpillar, or joining them together to make a word, caterpillar. Children may find it easier to feel how many chin bumps are in a word instead of clapping syllables. The child puts their fist or hand under their chin as they say the word. Each time the chin touches the fist, it is counted as 1 syllable. Children might also explore syllables using instruments to tap out familiar words, such as their names. It is important to remember that regional dialects may mean that children will break down words in different ways depending on their pronunciation. Children may also begin to develop awareness of rhyme. Through the shared reading of a familiar story or rhyme, we can help children to identify words which have similar sounds or patterns. We can support awareness of rhyme by stressing words as we share rhymes or revisit familiar stories. Children may progress on to generating their own rhyming words. We can develop this by missing out words in a less familiar text when reading aloud and asking children what word might come next. Children may also notice and suggest words which begin with the same sound, otherwise known as alliteration. For example, jiggly jelly. Children enjoy experimenting with words which start with the same letter as their name, and we can also draw attention to alliteration in the stories and rhymes we read aloud. Children may also enjoy learning tongue twisters or exploring sound bags to find objects which begin with the same sound. The Highland Council and Victoria State Education Department in Australia both have web pages which provide lots of practical ideas to support the development of phonological awareness. You will find these resources listed in the signposting section. As mentioned earlier in the video, phonological awareness is an umbrella term for a wide set of skills. Phonemic awareness is a subset of phonological awareness and involves more advanced skills such as hearing and identifying the individual sounds, or phonemes, within words. For example, k, a, t in cat. Phonemic awareness is explored in more depth in section 2 of this resource. So why is phonological awareness important in supporting children to learn to read? Research has found that learning to read depends on a number of different language skills, and phonological skills are one important aspect. Phonological awareness prepares children to learn to read by encouraging them to notice the sound structure in words. Awareness of these sound parts or structures is key to being able to join sounds together to read words at a later stage. This key message reminds us to provide children with opportunities to hear, explore, and play with the sounds and patterns of language. In a literacy-rich environment, children will develop phonological skills through exploring songs, rhymes, stories, and shared writing experiences. Within the Literacy in English early level experiences and outcomes, we are reminded that children should enjoy exploring and playing with the patterns and sounds of language. So how can we develop early phonological skills? Through interactions, experiences, and spaces. Let's begin by considering spaces. Realising the ambition encourages us to co-create safe spaces with children to talk, sing, rhyme, and play with sounds, words, and print. We can utilise indoor and outdoor spaces to provide opportunities to listen to and discriminate between sounds. In the previous video, on the importance of oral language for reading, there are examples of how we can develop the listening and attention skills that support phonological awareness in a range of indoor and outdoor spaces. By providing a range of resources and props, children are able to make and explore rhyme and rhythm. You might observe a child retelling familiar rhymes using props, for example 10 green bottles hanging on the wall, or you may wish to provide a range of rhyming objects or pictures which children can sort in different ways. Spaces should be co-created and follow the children's interests. Opportunities to develop word syllable awareness, rhyme, and alliteration can be developed in almost any area which a child likes to visit. Take, for example, a child's interest in visiting shops. In the role-play area, children could explore rhyming items such as food or objects which begin with the same letters. Play experiences are the natural vehicle for children to develop phonological awareness. We can make the most of these play opportunities where children can make natural connections to the patterns and sounds of language. For example, children's exploration of percussion instruments can help them to make connections to beats and rhythm. We can also develop phonological awareness by incorporating literacy-rich experiences into our daily routines and more structured group times. By incorporating singing, rhyme and stories into your daily routine, for example through a tidy-up song or a morning greeting rhyme, children have many opportunities to revisit and join in with familiar words and sounds. Learning nursery rhymes and songs, as well as reading aloud good quality texts, is a very important part of early years practice which should be valued and prioritised. The Scottish Book Trust's BookBug Song and Rhyme Library webpage provides links to a wide range of song and rhyme suggestions and includes helpful video and audio recordings. You will find this resource listed in the signposting section. This key message encourages us to support children as they begin to make connections between the sounds they hear and print in their environment. Through our interactions, we can support children as they begin to make connections between sounds they hear and print in their environment. We can encourage children to notice familiar letters and their corresponding names and sounds as they explore the world around them. This could be when children are self-registering, when looking at books as a group or individually, spotting familiar letters in environmental print, labelling their artwork and belongings, or when words are scribed for a child on artwork or within a floor book. Weisman and Greenberg also give some practical suggestions, including the listen and find one like it approach, which can be used to focus children's attention on sounds and words and sentences through everyday interactions. Children are encouraged to listen for sounds, syllables, rhyme or alliteration. For example, listen everyone, Harris has 2 syllables or beats in his name. Ha-ris. The children are then guided by the practitioner to think of or find one like it. For example, let's think of someone else's name which has 2 beats. What about Mina? Me-na. A video overview, glossary, signposted resources and some reflective questions have been created to accompany this video. You can use the QR code on the screen to access these.